Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek Origins 2017. I'm sitting down with Mark Walker, who has brought us your game.
Yep.
To 65, squad level combat in the jungles of Vietnam.
Perfect.
We might have had a little help from the side of the box. What are we trying to accomplish? I'm guessing we've got a historic
it's a dirty word. It's a war game. So this is one of the titles from Flying Pig Games, and what we try to do at Flying Pig Games that's a little bit different is we like to take war games and put them with Eurogame quality. So you won't find these teeny little chits, and you won't find a ream of charts. Those have their place back in the 70s, but these are more quality. They're more like Eurogame type stuff. And we try to make either unique mechanics, if we're dealing with a subject like Vietnam that's been done before, we try to make the mechanics unique, or we try to do a game about unique subjects. So we don't like hitting the same things that you'll see from some war game companies. We like to try to do things a little bit different, and just mix them up kind of,
Well, now that we know that maybe we can find some strategy Eurogame elements, give us an overview of what a turn might look like.
Sure, absolutely. I don't want to go into rules because they're boring, frankly, for anybody. But the difference is many of you will recognize the hex and chit mechanism. Of course, these chits are absolutely huge.
Yeah, they are huge.
Which makes them colorful and also easy to read. But what's different about 65 is rather than move these chits at your own will, it's also a card-driven game. So we have these cards here that are dealt 4 each to somebody during a turn, and they not only dictate when your units can move and what they can do, they also have a lot of elements with being able to just mess with your opponent. So one of the things I love about 65, when I see people playing it, I see a lot of folks laughing and whatnot because they think they can do something. They think they can shoot a squad at somebody, or they think they might be able to do some damage to the other side, but there are cards that they go, aha, but you can't do that. And so it mixes the historical with just the plain fun, and so much of the rules can be put on cards, of course, when you're doing a card game. That's what I really like about these kind of games.
Now, how many players does this support?
Well, 2. And, I would love to... One of the things that we're working on is working on war games that work better with multiple players. Because I'm just like everybody else. I mean, when I get together, it's rarely 2 of us, unless we're 1 testing, or 2 I'm specifically with a war game buddy. I'm just like everybody else. I'm getting together with 4 and 5 people, and they're going, Mark, man, that game looks cool. Let's play it. I go, well, I got to say, right now it's 2. There's a couple of scenarios that can play 3. But we're in development with a multiplayer war game that hopefully we'll have out in 2017.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, was there any inspiration for wanting to pick the Vietnam War?
There was a series of novels I read maybe about 8 or 9 years ago, and if I was intelligent and not older, I would rip off their names for you. But they inspired me to do my first Vietnam game, which I did when I owned Lock and Load Publishing. And this was kind of revisiting that era because I've always liked that. I've always thought the history was rich. And for the type of games that I personally like to design, which are these called tactical games, they're not grand strategy. It's very small skirmishes. Vietnam's very well suited to that.
Yeah. Now, what I think most people would expect is, do we have other flavors of boards and scenarios and...
Yeah. Great questions. I mean, super questions, Beth. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, you guys may not be able to tell it till we do that, but these are geomorphic boards. And last time I used that when I was on Dice Tower. Can I say that here?
That's okay.
Just kidding. When I was on Dice Tower, somebody asked a question what geomorphic was. They fit together multiple ways. So one scenario might have them set up like this. The next scenario, I don't know if y'all can see out there, but might have them, this is a bad example,
There they
might
go.
have them set up like that. So these are semi-geomorphic boards. So they're used in a series of scenarios that we have in the book. We also have a massive board that if I hadn't been hung up at the booth and running late, I would have brought over here of the City Way. That's absolutely beautiful. The artist was the same artist that does all of our old school tactical designs, and that's beautiful too. Now we have a Solitaire expansion for this, which is the extreme opposite of multiplayer, of course, but so many people, what I've run into is so many people with lives. Solitaire used to have a bad name. It used to be like, oh, if you play Solitaire, you don't have friends. My experience has been the opposite. If you have a full life, you find the only time you can game is 10 o'clock at night or 8 in the morning.
When you're already in your
something.
PJs.
Exactly, and you're relaxing and somebody else is watching TV. So we have a Solitaire expansion for this that has a special deck of cards that lets the AI run the AI. They're the AI cards, and you fight against that, and that's pretty interesting too.
Yeah. So there's a lot in that box for people to dig into.
Well, the Solitaire expansion doesn't come with a box.
Fair enough,
It's something
yeah.
extra that you have to buy. So
Let's talk a few logistics then, if people are really excited now.
Sure.
Is this out yet?
oh, of course, yeah, it's been out since earlier this year, and yeah, we have it over our booth. You can also order from our website. Most resellers will carry it online also. MSRP is $80, so that probably means the online resellers are selling it for $15 or something. But no, just a joke. Yeah.
And then a timetable on some of the expansions. Do those have a firm date yet?
Well, in addition to the Solitaire expansion, which is out, we have an expansion that uses the United States Marine Corps, which was kind of when people think of Vietnam, they think of the Marines, and also the Australians and New Zealanders, and that's out now too. So at this point, we don't have plans for further expansions. We've got a lot of games coming out, but I hope we get to revisit this and add to it because I love this card mechanism.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I'm really excited. I hope that this is a smashing success for you. And if you guys want to check that out, this is 65, which is from Flying Pig Games.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Beth. I appreciate it. Thank you.